Hi there, in today's experiment we're going to be using calcium chloride to create a DIY dehumidifier for your home. So I built a couple of them about 3 weeks ago to see if it would work, and after about 2 days I was kind of disappointed to the point where I wasn't even going to do the experiment. So I just let them sit. Luckily I didn't throw it away, because what I found from watching TV, you see these people putting up on screen and it's dripping and dripping and dripping, and I said, ooh, that'd be great. But in reality, when I put it together, maybe one drip came out after about an hour, and it was like, that's not right. So I let them sit, and about 2 weeks later I came back and there was actually water in the bottom. In fact, here's one that was done 2 weeks ago. Okay, and you can see, well, it's hard to see how much water's in here, but I'm going to go ahead and pour it in here. So after 2 weeks, look at that. I got about, I'd say maybe a half a cup of water. This came out of the air. So that was after 2 weeks. Now remember, I only got a drop at first, and I was going to throw this thing away. So pulling a half a cup of water out of the air for a small room like this, I thought was great. So now, my 3-week one, I just noticed this morning something happened. I had just as much calcium chloride in it, oops, as I do right here, okay, but it had pretty much disintegrated. Look what's left in there, hardly anything. So, how much water did I get from this? Let's go ahead and pour it out. Wow. That's, I don't have, oh, is that a measuring? Yeah. 10, 6. So that's 8 ounces of water. Look at that I pulled out of the air. So between the two, we've got well over a cup of water. As a matter of fact, we'll pour the rest here. Look at that. I've got a whole mason jar just between those two. This is the humidity that I pulled out of the air. Cheers. No, don't drink it. I believe this stuff is kind of poisonous. So isn't that awesome? Now, let me show you what this stuff actually looks like, okay? When you start out, this is the calcium chloride. I used just a little bit of it. Probably, oh, I had measured it earlier. It came out to, if you get this container, I have the link in the description below where I got this on Amazon. The amount you would use each time, like what you saw right there, comes up to about $2. And like I said, 3 weeks and still going. It'll probably last by the time this is gone about 4 weeks. But look, it comes out in this kind of white fluffy stuff. Looks almost like laundry detergent. Little crystals. But what happens is you put them in there and it absorbs the moisture in the air. And I want to cover this up real fast. And what happens in a very short time, that moisture solidifies. So let's take this right out, and I want to show you how it has solidified. This is what happens actually in about a week, even less than a week, a few days, and I turned this solid. So let's go ahead and see. I shouldn't be left unsupervised. Wow. You can see, pretty darn solid. I don't want it to go flying everywhere. There we go. I should use gloves. Please don't do what I do, do what I say. But look at that. Amazing how it's solidified. It's like a big piece of rock. Now what's going to happen is it's going to go from that to this. Now I had just as much here, but see how that's all that's left. And it's still brittle, but it turns into kind of like a slush. So this stuff here will absorb the water, it will get solid, and once it gets solid, okay, because it absorbed all that water from the air, that's when it's going to start dripping down. Not as much as what you see in a lot of these automated videos, okay, because they need to make it look really good. But it comes down quite a bit to the point where, well, again, you saw that. And eventually you can leave this thing out for about 3 weeks, depending on how much you put in it and how humid your room is, okay? And when that is pretty much all gone, all slush, then you throw it away and do another one. Now what I did was, my colander, the holes were kind of big, that this stuff kind of fell right through the cracks. So what I did was, well, matter of fact, I'll go ahead and make this one as an extra one. I actually put it in a screen. There we go. So the screen makes it not fall through. And then you just go ahead and set it up. And that's all it is. That dehumidifier is all set for another few weeks. Now, where would you put this? You're not going to put it out in an open house, okay? Because it's probably not going to get all the humidity out of your house. But a small place where you don't have electricity, maybe, oh, I don't know, a closet or a shed, or a room where you have something important, maybe, I don't know, if you have a gun collection or antiques or something like that, a laundry room. The reason I got it is we have a front laundry room where, if you remember during the winter, we shut off all the room with all these curtains and everything so we could heat just certain rooms. Well, anytime we took a shower or did something humid in the house, it would go into that room, and humidity got so bad that we got mold all over the walls. So we cleaned it off, and Raluca went out and bought one of those things, kind of like pretty much the same as this. I don't remember the name of it, but from Home Depot. And it uses the same calcium chloride, but they have a fancy name for it. And she put one of those in there, and the same thing, after a few weeks, she had a lot of water in there. And said, oh, this is great, but we gotta find a cheaper way of doing it. So I did some research, and that's where I found out about calcium chloride. Pretty much the same thing, but it doesn't come already made in a container. But how hard is it to take about 1.5 cups of it, put it inside a colander, and let it set? And it's a lot cheaper, $2 a usage. So you can see it made this room a lot less humid. And I was wondering, because like I said, I set it and I forgot it. And I didn't know why this room wasn't humid anymore until about a week later. So I had it in the back of one of my plastic shelves, and then all of a sudden, oh, look at that, it worked. I gotta do the video after all. So this is pretty darn exciting. Calcium chloride, make your own little dehumidifiers. I keep on calling it a dehydrator. You're not doing food with it, folks. You're taking humidity out of the air. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Go ahead and try it. Let me know how it works for you, especially how much water you get out of the year. I want to see how much how much humidity we're collectively collecting. And be sure to throw the stuff away when you're done. Okay, wash your hands if you touched it with something like this, but use gloves, because this stuff here, I don't know what it's, well, it's made out of sodium chloride, but I don't know how healthy that would be for, you to lick your fingers or for animals or anything. So as soon as I'm done here, I'm going to vacuum all the little pieces on the floor from using my tomahawk and breaking it in pieces. So share this with your friends, especially with all the humidity. That's a hard word. Humidity. There we go. We've been having. I'd like to thank you for watching and being part of our community. And I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye now. Humidity, humidity. I said it, humidity. When I don't need it, I say it. When I say it, I don't need it. What?